trying to stay alive for this big 4-1 hyper match that we have going, and it looks like we are off.
And right away, we see in the Sanctuary, we have Blue Mail, so right away, some nice defense.
Absolutely. Blue Mail to start off with is nice. Looks like both of our runners, well, okay, they split. Chrouya is setting up Houlihan. BigDunka is heading right over to Kakariko to start.
Yeah, in Keysanity, I prefer the Houlihan play only because you're less likely to get rupees as opposed to other modes, but, you know, the line that BigDunka is making is usually the most common line in most other modes, and I don't mind it that much. Maybe get a nice tree pull here. Just 1 rupee, not the best tree pull.
Yeah, it's kind of a gamble to not... I really enjoy the Houlihan strat because it lends itself to easier lines, but hey, bomb crabs, that's nice.
Yeah, the bush crab dropping some bombs, and behind there, we didn't quite get to see it, I don't think.
Yeah, I wasn't quite there. We'll hope Chrouya ends up heading that way before too long, but what's in Link's house? Bombs. Okay, then.
Yeah, so the bomb's not an issue. Early on with the bombs from Link's house, you get the bombs from bush crabs, so bombs aren't an issue. Ooh, we got ether in the vanilla mushroom spot.
I don't know if I like finding early medallions. Early medallions hint at possibly early going to other places that I do not want to do pre, like, 10 hearts or something.
What about early Thieves Town Big Key?
Hey, that's nice, though. Thieves Town just opens up quite a bit, and Chrouya over here on our right side, not even checking, going right to the maze game. We'll see what he picks up here, and if that ends up being a good decision.
Yeah, the Thieves Town Big Key is really good because that's the only key you need to kill blind. There is a small key that opens up 1 item. You need the big key for that as well.
Yep, and that's what? An extra 3 or 4 item locations as well in Thieves Town? And just a heart container or a heart piece in the race, so Chrouya wasting a little bit of time there.
Yeah, BigDunka going down to Blind Hut. There's starting the Kakariko trip. There's a bunch of items down here. And just a piece of heart on the library. Oh, a Bombos, more medallions. Small key to Turtle Rock. Compass to Swamp. And we have a piece of heart.
2 medallions already. This makes me a little bit nervous. I mean, lots of nice things to have, but no real progression. A Smoky to Swamp Palace and a bottle.
That's a very nice vanilla bottle on Chrouya's side, and BigDunka finding the very important small key to Swamp Palace. That 1 key opens up the entire dungeon.
Yeah, that's a really nice pickup early. That's one less thing that they're going to have to look at. Don't know if it's going to be required or not yet, but a nice thing to have nonetheless.
BigDunka now heading to the dam. We find ourselves a map to Eastern. Compass to Ice. Chrouya finds a big 20 in the chicken shed, so nothing much happening down there. Ooh, another big key. This one's for Pod. And the legendary single arrow.
Big key to Pod, but none of the small keys, so a little bit interesting. Now, we're in an interesting situation where BigDunka does not have enough money to be able to purchase the bottle vendor item, which means Chrouya might have an advantage. It's a small key to Turtle Rock. Okay, so nothing doing there.
Well, you do need all 4 keys to Turtle Rock if you want to full clear it, but technically if you're in Go mode and you don't need to full clear it, you only need 3.
Yeah, it'll just be another item location that will be sitting at the back of BigDunka's mind as he clears everything out. One more location for him to have to stop and get. Meanwhile, Chrouya can get it in his first pass through Kakariko.
Yeah, Chrouya now in the well.
So while these two are running over each other's item locations, I want to give a big shout out to our tracker, Hexmage, last minute addition to our team. Thank you so much for jumping in at the last minute, Hexmage. Without you, we would not be able to do this race, so thank you for jumping in here.
Looks like BigDunka's going to go farm these last 30 rupees from the Blind's hut in order to buy the bottle vendor now.
Oh, so that's a little bit more time wasted here by BigDunka, just giving Chrouya that much of an advantage there.
Yeah, because Chrouya did the Houlihan to get that money, they're basically about even at this point. BigDunka's still with a slight lead, I think, even though he didn't do Houlihan and had to make that extra trip down to Blind's basement.
All right, so Chrouya is going to head up north here while BigDunka ends up heading south. Finds his bottle.
Alright, so Chrouya's now done with his first check here. He's probably going to head down towards either the east or the south, depending on how he's feeling here.
Yep, looks like he's going to be heading down south. Probably going to avoid the escape area from Hyrule Castle until he has a more reliable weapon. You can do it with bombs, and the logic does say you don't necessarily need a weapon other than bombs, but it's just kind of a pain and takes a lot of time if you don't have a reliable weapon like a rod or a sword or even the hammer.
Now, I saw real quick on BigDunka's side, we saw a map check, and I think I saw that Desert Palace was a pendant. And Eastern is a crystal.
All right, let's see what our soggy item is for the day as we're doing this dam area. Soggy money.
Yeah. And the ice palace small key isn't the worst key to find, but it's definitely not the best. It's you don't need technically any ice palace keys to complete the dungeon, but having one makes routing it a lot easier.
Absolutely, it just opens things up a little bit and saves, a good few minutes. So Chrouya and BigDunka going in here to the mini Moldorm area with only bombs. Now Chrouya is getting close to being out of bombs, so he's got to be a little bit careful here.
Comes to his last one to try to kill his last mini Moldorm, and he gets it.
That's nice. We'll see if BigDunka can copy this feat. And there's our first lift upgrade and the Moon Pearl.
And whoa! So right away you went from no Dark World access items to having Dark World access in just 5 short seconds. You get both lift upgrades and the Moon Pearl in Mini Moldorm Cave.
All your Dark World access right away. That's amazing. And they already have their Thieves Town access to be able to go ahead and go full into it. Still waiting on that weapon, but that was amazing. The new Hype Cave, Mini Moldorm.
So even though these runners now do have that Dark World access, they're going to head over to Ice Rod Cave, because this is one cave you don't really want to forget. Could have something very important here. But Chrouya, gotta be careful he doesn't get bodied by these crabs. Even with the blue mail, they'll still do 1 heart of damage.
And he's down to 1 heart, so he was sweating a little bit there. Probably going to see a safe quit after here to see exactly what we have. Lamp!
The all-important lamp.
Yep, lamp, not necessarily, it's required from a logic perspective, but a lot of runners can go ahead and get through a lot of lamp required and lamp locked areas.
Some more than others, some are easier than others, but for the most part, these guys are not turning down a lamp ever. Also, it could be their only fire source.
This is true. So we see a route divergence here. Chrouya looks like he's heading over to the eastern area, still going to search for these Sphere Zero locations. Dunka, in the meanwhile, is going to be using his mitts and going to the back of Escape right now.
Yeah, these open up, and you get 3 chests back here. Nice, easy to get to. And also, we're going to talk to Sahashala here and see what this green pendant dungeon will be. And it is desert. So I did see there was a pendant. Oh, Keysanity, back of escape. First pod key and a Meyer key.
And Chrouya ends up pulling. He pulls the mapped Desert Palace, which we already know what that is, so that's horrible. But he gets the hook shot as well. So all of a sudden, Death Mountain is open to us too.
Not only Death Mountain open to us, all of Death Mountain except for Tower of Hera is open to us.
That's a great pickup. And the interesting thing is Dunka finds enough value on his own. I don't know if he's going to go over to this eastern area for a while.
Yeah, having a hookshot over there is a nice little place for it if you don't route that in early because you got that Titan's Mitts and Moon Pro combo right away. You might not head over there for a few minutes.
This is going to be some interesting route divergence between these two, and it was just a simple decision. Dunka pulls the big key to Ice Palace. Again, not required. It's one of the few big keys that isn't necessarily required, but still nice to have.
Well, the Ice Palace big key is interesting because technically, if you want to complete the seed in the logic, it's always required. But I would say 9 out of 10 runners in this tournament, and probably more than that, probably close to 95 out of 100, know how to do the Ice Palace bomb jump and can just skip that big key if they need to. But having a big key is nice because, one, that big key plus Keysanity means you don't have to do the Ice Palace bomb jump if you have the full clear ice, and it also means that you can open up the big chest, which could have something pretty important in it.
All right, so Chrouya working his way through here. Nothing really exciting so far in Eastern proper. Most of the value that we found there was in the back of Sahasrah's hut. BigDunka, though, using that cane as a weapon to work his way through the escape, just found the map to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, the map to Turtle Rock's nice. I want to know what Turtle Rock is as soon as possible.
All right, Chrouya just pulling a big 20. BigDunka getting ready to go over here and see what we have. Now, this next treasure chest that Chrouya is going to come up on, he can't get the big key treasure chest, which is absolutely fine. But this next one is locked behind the lamp, so having that lamp means it's in logic. It could have our next progression item.
Duncan doing really nice with his Keysanity to take out all these guards here in the escape. Alright, Chrouya gonna get to this last chest here in Eastern. BigDunka, he's gonna probably set up a Death Warp here. He wants to get that one chest in the back of Escape here. Meanwhile, they just both find rupees. Dunka takes his death. That was intentional, of course. Chrouya, is he also gonna do intentional? No, he's just gonna save and quit.
Yep, we're going to see BigDunka go back here to this dark room in the sewer system. This is one of those out-of-the-way locations that if you don't get it out of the way when you're here the first time, it can be difficult to remember to route back in. Chrouya just picking up a bomb and then saving and quitting again. We'll see where he ends up going now. And we have a lot of people in chat right now talking about possibly this being an early Turtle Rock access. We have a lot of items checked off the list. Early Dark World access, we have the mitts, we have early symbols. Two things that we're really missing before we can get really in-depth here. And just a big 20 from BigDunka there in that treasure chest. We're still missing a sword to use either Bombos and Ether. That is required, plus the hammer to get into the hammer pegs. So be on the lookout for those two items. As soon as we get a sword and the hammer, this seed could be pointing them towards Turtle Rock, and that would be absolutely crazy.
Alright, so Chrouya went to the back of Escape, got his Keysanity. BigDunka is in fact heading towards Eastern, so he is not going to be baited by going to the Dark World early. He will continue checking here, and he will get his hook shot.
Meanwhile, Chrouya looks like heading over. No, he's going to be going up to Death Mountain. Even though we have the early Dark World access, there's still so much value here in the Light World. Haven't really needed a reason to go over here yet.
Nice fairies from the tier 2 tree pull.
The fairies are going, love me, come here.
And Chrouya's like, why weren't you bombs?
Oh, that's true. Chrouya does not have any bombs. That's unfortunate for him. If only he would have picked up that crab.
So Dunka's not going to be too far behind. He might be making that same play over towards Death Mountain. Yeah, he's going up.
Yeah, Dunka ended up just getting the cane of the items that were in the back of Sahasrara, and then instead of going to Eastern, is going to follow Chrouya right up Death Mountain, and a worthless small key to Misery Mire.
Yeah, Mire small keys there's like 3 of them you could find, but you really only need 1 of them to even route correctly. You don't need any to complete the dungeon. It's not even that tough to route without keys.
All right, so on top of Spectacle Rock, the boots. Ooh.
Oh, and we need that mirror. We don't have the mirror yet, so those boots are gonna be. Oh, and there's the last medallion.
Oh, what the heck? We have all 3 medallions, and he's going to go ahead and bypass that. If he needs it, he knows where to get it. But we know where all 3 medallions are. Sub 20 minutes. What is the seed, Rambler?
I don't know. I didn't generate it. Obviously, I didn't generate it. But you know, the early items usually tends to lead to interesting things at the end of the game.
You are far too polite. When you say interesting things, it means trolly as heck things. And Chrouya does not have a bomb for this particular wall. He's going to be hoping to find bombs somewhere here. Oh no, is he even going to be able to open up these?
No, he doesn't.
So Chrouya has to save and quit without getting anything up there. This is so unfortunate for Chrouya, and he will have to end up coming back up to Death Mountain. That's unfortunate for Chrouya.
Yeah, for his sake, he doesn't come back here until he has at least a mirror, so he can go grab those boots and make the routing a little better. Dunka got his Quake medallion. Now he's going to head over towards the east side, and we're going to get to see what Chrouya missed out on by not having these bombs.
Looks like Chrouya is making a beeline to be able to just go and purchase bombs. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He ended up using most of his bombs on the mini Bulldoran cage, which certainly was worth it at that time. Never refreshed, though.
Yeah, bomb issues is something you don't really think about when you play Link to the Past. It's definitely more of a Zelda 1 issue, but it does happen in Link to the Past that you don't find. And look at that, bombs right behind the first bomb.
Oh, that's going to be a gut punch to Chrouya. And we have people in chat talking about who has the early lead. I want to emphasize that it's so early right at the moment. It's difficult, really, to say with any legitimacy anyone has a big enough lead. I mean, that was certainly a mistake by Chrouya. And big key to Eastern Palace. What? Big key to Tower of Hera.
Well, we don't quite have access to Hera yet. There's a small key to Thieves, so now once we have the hammer, we can full clear Thieves. And there's the Hyrule Castle small key, which is literally 100% useless. Dunk again, this bomb jump, nicely done. One of the easier ones in the game.
So this is the Cave of Keys. Wow, I can't pronounce today.
Oh, there's the hammer, floating island.
This now just became an absolutely mirror required seed, as if there wasn't enough value with the mirror tied with the boots, but now you also get the hammer with it? Wow.
Now, the perfect thing for these guys would be if the mirror is either here in Spiral Cave or like in Hookshot Cave. Then they can route almost everything all at once and have all these great items right away.
And just think, we also already have the small key to Swamp Palace, so since we have the flippers, that mirror really locks a lot of progression right at the moment.
Alright, Duncan now heading over to the Dark World here. We're going to see what's in this known as Super Bunny Cave, and we're also going to get to Hookshot Cave up top, and we're also going to see, even though it's not required, what medallions needed for Turtle Rock. Or if it is Quake, Chrouya has to go back and grab the Quake medallion. BigDunka grabbed it already.
Yeah, Chrouya made a gamble that he wouldn't necessarily need it, and who knows? I mean, it was a worthwhile gamble, I would say. You know, for this cave that BigDunka is in, being called Super Bunny Cave, it's been such a long time since I've seen anyone actually do the Super Bunny glitch. And the book.
Now, the main reason why you don't see a Super Bunny glitch anymore is because of the way the new logic is. In the old tournament, when you saw Super Bunny a lot, it was because oftentimes you found the Titansmiths before the Power Glove, and they weren't progressive back then. So you would often have Titansmiths before having the Moon Pearl, so thus you did the Super Bunny Cave more often. Nowadays, it's a little rare that you're going to have Titansmiths and not have Moon Pearl and come over here.
Yep, absolutely. But the name sticks.
Usually if a name sticks, it catches on and sticks around for a while. Duncan finding nothing in Hookshot Cave, so he'll have to come back here later once he finds that mirror just to grab that hammer. Chrouya's going to go see, does he need that Quake medallion for Turtle Rock? The answer is no, Ether.
Might still be required for Misery Mire, but it may have been a good gamble there by Chrouya.
Yeah, because Quake doesn't really do much in the game as in its other forms, whereas Bombos can kill an entire screen, Ether can kill a lot of enemies and freeze them. Now, with that book, they can check what's on those 2 tablets, but they can't access the items until they have a Master Sword or better. However, the text will appear just like when you check the pedestal.
So now we have Dunka making our first entrance into the Dark World at 22 minutes, doing a map check, and Turtle Rock is a pendant. Wow.
Ooh. That's really good information to have there. That means we have to triple dip it just for item. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, weirder things have happened. This is random.
Okay, now heading over to Skullwood's going to go find ourselves some items in here. Chrouya, once again, not that far behind here. You just had he lost a little ground by not having those bombs, but he's caught back up nicely.
Yep, he's trying to use his lines very well. Trying to do everything he can, all the little things he can to catch up. We'll see if it works. Meanwhile, BigDunka and Chrouya both kind of following the same lines of logic, going up here to Skullwoods, or Value was as it was a while ago. It's been a while since we've had much value here, though.
And that small key that BigDunka just got, that will always be a vanilla small key, just because to prevent logic breaks, or should I say soft locks in this dungeon.
Can you imagine if that wasn't a guaranteed key? All the soft locks that would happen from people routing in here?
For a short time, it wasn't. The logic said that any of the first 3 chests that Chrouya just opened, for instance, could have that small key. But because of that one drop down that is into this room, they changed it back to being just a vanilla small key. Now, this is nice. This is one of the big benefits of having a campfire early. You don't have to worry about pushing the statue in this room. Get right to this one chest back here very easily. However, it wasn't worth anything.
Unfortunately not. Just nothing doing. And BigDunka is going to go ahead and do a death warp here.
And those are when Gibdo hugs are actually beneficial, because with that blue mail usually takes a lot of damage, but those Gibdos still do 1 heart of damage even with blue mail. So now Dunka, let's see if he goes down towards the Village of Outcasts, or if he goes checks out what's on, say, the Bumper Ledge here. But, yep, he's going to head over towards Bumper Ledge here.
This might be a source of some interesting route divergence here.
Not really, because there's only a big 50 up there. Now, they do have both keys for Thieves Town at this point, so they can clear it. But without the hammer, they still can't get access to that one big chest down there.
We see Chrouya actually not going over to check what's in that bumper cave, so he's going right down into the Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, these runners now neck and neck a little bit, so we're going to see these items coming fast and furious. There's a small key to pod, so I believe that's our second. There are 6 small keys to Palace of Darkness in this game. If you want to full clear the dungeon within the logic, you're going to need all 6 of them. However, if you have the bow, you can skip that first locked door. And if you know how to do the what's known as hammer yump in NMG, you can skip 2 small keys.
Yeah, pod logic is probably kind of one of the determining factors. A lot of runners have really avoided going to pod until the very end. If you go mo pod, there is a risk of a soft lock, and all of these runners know it. So they're really hesitant to leave any stone unturned just to make sure that they have all their keys necessary to get through. It's really played a big part in a lot of races for this match.
All right, so Dunka and I'm assuming Chrouya right behind him going to go right into Thieves Town here. Again, we can kill the boss. Even without a sword, oddly enough, the Cane of Samaria does deal damage to blind.
Cane of Samaria strats are some of my favorite strats on blind too. It's something you don't ever see, so it's just something a little fun that we don't get to see every day.
This early part of Thieves Town not really paying off, even though it is paying off with the there's the flippers.
Water toes. That actually opens up quite a bit in terms of the logic here. We can now get to the western or eastern side of the Dark World with those in logic, so that does open up pod and pyramid and some of the other locations there.
Also gives us access to Swamp Palace again, but we can only get to 2 chests without the hammer.
Well, we still don't have that mirror either.
Oh, that's true. We did that. And that mirror released the hammer, so that's all on the point. My bad.
Nope, it's all right. That mirror is kind of our big break point at this point in time. Where is it? And so much stuff we know is locked behind the mirror, let alone what could be in these other locations.
Again, these 2 runners pretty much neck and neck at this point. Chrouya about 2 rooms behind here. Both have to be careful though. They are very low on hearts. Even with that blue mail, these enemies deal damage.
That's the risk of the Dark World. Everything always does a ton of damage in the Dark World. Doesn't matter what mail you have.
Small key to Gannis Tower. Well, if you're Gomo to Gannis Tower, you only need 1 small key somewhere in order to complete it.
Now we are in a very risky place. Both Chrouya and BigDunka, only 1 heart remaining. Oh, this could get dangerous here.
You gotta be careful using this hook shot here to stun these enemies. Again, if you're gonna need to kill blind, it's gonna be a very tough fight because you're gonna have to use the Cane of Samaria to kill him. Unless we happen to find a sword or even the Cane of Burna from this last chest, the maiden chest. we're going to see some Keysanity strats on blind. Nope, just a big 20, so if you haven't seen it before, you're going to see it now, at least attempted by these two runners.
I'll point out here, and I'm sure we'll see it on Chrouya's side, and we see it on BigDunka, the Maiden actually has a different color palette for each of these. Our artists who do this sprite development here at Randomizer have to change some of the color palettes that are available for these sprites. So the color swaps that they end up doing because of the limited Super Nintendo graphics, changes the colors of, for example, the Maiden and some other things. So that's why the Maiden looks different for Chrouya and BigDunka here.
Yeah, you also see when you're in Kakariko Village, the old lady in front of the chicken hut, her skin changes as well, along with the sprite you're using. Dunka down to 1 heart. Oh, he takes the death.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the one, I guess because Chrouya did dip into Eastern, that's the difference there. He has 6 hearts, Dunka has 5.
And I don't blame Dunka for not going back in there. Come back, because you're probably going to check that chest anyway once you have the hammer, so come back when you're more fully prepared.
Oh man, Chrouya's fighting here. Gets hit. Yeah, can't quite beat out blind. Hammer, Keysanity strats are fun, but not easy.
And Chrouya also doing the same thing, noping on out, come back later. Ooh! Talking about a paradox, the digging game has the shovel.
I mean, sure, why not?
We're gonna go visit our old friend Stumpy up here, see what he's hiding for us. There is the mirror!
Okay. And okay, I really hope that BigDunka turns right around because you have the shovel there, sir. You can dig. I mean, if that has an item location there.
Oh, please don't forget. He could have done it right there. No.
But I mean, the mirror does open up quite a bit for us, so it'll be interesting to see what we have here.
I mean, there's more than likely going to go straight back to Death Mountain once they're done with their early exploring, just to grab those boots and that hammer. And Chrouya does realize, put 2 and 2 together, he's going to go right to that dig spot in the light world.
Okay, this could be significant. What do we find here, Chrouya? Just a big 20. So, Alright,
we're going to see what our red crystals are. Ice Palace and... Oh, Thieves Town is a red crystal.
Well, I think they feel a little silly right now. But,
I mean, they're definitely going to come back here, because they know they're going to get the hammer within the next 5 minutes here, so...
Alright, and BigDunka is starting at the cave formerly known as Hype Cave. Will it be hype or will it be a dud? It's kind of one or the other. There's no in between.
Eh? Yeah, this is kind of a dud. I mean, the map to Pod is nice, but yeah, that's a dud cave.
I'm going to call this the Tunnel of Love, because you had 2 heart pieces and a full heart container. BigDunka was definitely looking for that, so I think he's fine with it. Chrouya, in the meantime, is actually bringing Jeremiah back home.
We saw real quick on Dunka's side, he did check the map after he got that Pod map, and Pod is in fact a crystal. We're going to blindly go to Lake Hylia Island here. And get a nice heart container.
I'm thinking Dunka is wondering where all this health was, right before when he was trying to find blind. But,
Chrouya now going to take the purple chest over. He's probably going to just route all this together. He'll also be able to check the Bombos tablet while he's over there. And maybe even go towards Agina's cave.
Some interesting route division here. BigDunka hasn't really found anything up to this point in time, but neither is Chrouya. So they're just finding different locations that the other person is eventually going to have to go to anyway.
Alright, now Dunka's back on Death Mountain, so he's going to go get his boots, get his hammer, and then we'll see what he does from there, because that opens up a lot of world to us. Map to Hyrule. So we can find out if Hyrule Castle is a pendant or a crystal. Oh, wait.
Wait a second.
Alright, let's see what's on Bama's tablet. It's a map.
We don't know which map. I don't really think we particularly care either.
Yeah, because eventually, due to process of elimination, we're going to figure out what is what.
So Chrouya is now going to head over here, get his hype cave, and then I imagine he's going to be doing exactly what BigDunka is doing right now as well.
Dunka, he's already been in here, I believe, so he's just gonna come up here and get that hammer. Oddly enough, he didn't get the boots first. He went this way first and get the hammer, then he'll probably go towards the left side. He has the big key to Hera, so he can finish Hera the dungeon. He can't get what's in the basement yet, though.
I would find it particularly difficult to do Moldorm in terms of beating the place. Oh, I guess he has the hammer now, so.
Yeah, so use that hammer, come over here. He'll probably check the ether tablet while he's here, see what it's hiding, even though, we can't get it just yet. We'll see if he gets his boots before heading in there. He's gonna probably get the boots after. I don't mind this one because the boots aren't really that big of a deal when you're going into Hera. There's not a lot of places you can dash. Upstairs a little bit, and there's a map on ether as well. And yeah, he's gonna go get the boots first.
I mean, it's relatively quick from here to be able to do that, so
yeah.
I don't blame him.
So oddly enough, Chrouya did not go to Death Mountain yet. He's going to Hobo first. He might route all this area before heading back up to Death Mountain to get that hammer.
BigDunka picking up another heart container. Well, we don't have any health issues now, do we?
I mean, until you have all 20, you never know. There's
and another. BigDunka has, I think, doubled his total health total since that blind fight in under 10 minutes, so he's happy about that.
Yeah, the heart containers are coming at you like DJ Khaled. Another one, and another one, another one, and another one.
Chrouya now coming over here and checking the hammer or the pyramid location. He's doing a kind of a full overland route without real. I mean, he knows where those items are up on the Death Mountain, but banking that something else will help him out. And half magic isn't bad.
Yeah, half magic will help you out. That's for sure. I was surprised he didn't go up and. Oh, I guess he can't. He can't enter the top half of Aga Tower just yet. He doesn't have 2 swords or a cape yet.
And he's even going to put in Catfish, and will probably do the Zora area. So he's trying to make routing as efficient as possible. Can't say I necessarily blame him either.
Yeah, it's not a terrible play, that's for sure. Duncan with a nice Moldorm kill with that hammer. It's a lot tougher than he made it look, I'll tell you that.
And we have our first crystal at 40 minutes in, so about average at this point in time. Not a jet seed, not a super trolley seed, but man, we kind of had to take the long way to get up here, didn't we?
Yeah, the items started off fast and furious, but they kind of slowed down. The mirror helps us out a lot. We still need a lot of keys, though, and we still need things like the bow. We need at least the... well, we might not need Fire Ice Rod. We never know. Ooh, a big key of catfish. This is going to be huge. It's swamp. Never mind.
Yeah, not as big as we wanted, but that's one more chest location that Chrouya will be able to do once he ends up heading down that way.
Yeah, now we can full clear every item in Swamp. There's the bug net and a map to Swamp.
I don't care who you are, that bug net, most important item in the game.
Well, you gotta be able to kill Aghanim somehow. We don't have a sword yet, so you never know.
Hey, swag strats. I'm sitting at 1 and 2 in this tournament. Swag strats all the way from here on out.
We have a little shield on the Zora ledge. I doubt he's gonna go out of his way to pick that up.
Nah, I doubt he will as well. Meanwhile, BigDunka is saying, okay, blind, you're mine now.
Yeah, he's gonna hammer home the fact that he wants to go blind.
Oh. Ooh.
Well, he also gets access to that one chest, which you need the hammer to get to. Oh, and the old 90% ruse from Zora.
Man, that's harsh.
Never trust pyramid schemes, boys and girls.
That was his first installed payment, right? He can go back and get 5 rupees anytime.
He's gonna stick with the cane strats. I guess, I mean, it's probably easier with the cane than the hammer. Just that now he has 10 hearts and could probably get by with killing him this way. Also, oh no, Chrouya was the one that grabbed the potion, so never mind. Yeah, Chrouya's now on his way to go do the same thing Duncan just did. Grab the hammer, grab the boots, and finish off Tower of Hera.
And Dunka, a lot cleaner than last time.
Small key to skull, not the most necessary item, but again, small keys, even though they're not necessary for some of these dungeons, they're always nice to have. Alright, he's going back in. He's going to get that big chest now.
And Chrouya is making his climb up Death Mountain. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, and other folks, just because it looks like he's much further behind BigDunka, he spent a lot more time doing a lot of overworld locations that BigDunka will likely have to check. So even though Dunka looks like he's ahead at this point in time, not quite, just depending on what these two find as they route things together.
I thought Dunka was going to try to God Pixel there, but he doesn't have a sword, so it's a little harder to do that.
Yeah, that'd be a little bit difficult. And Chrouya is now picking up his pendant, or his hammer.
Interesting note, I saw it earlier, we'll mention it now. The stun drop for these guys is 1 bomb, so if they have any bombs, they can use that hook shot to stun an enemy and then kill him. Ooh, the small key to Hera. Oh, that's evil. The small key to Hera is hammer blocked.
Oh, man, that's... I mean, I don't imagine Dunka's going to head up there until we start running out of items.
Yeah. Duncan now, he's going to go take care of the Northern Dark World. We'll get Bonk Rocks, we'll get Graveyard Ledge, and we'll get King's Tomb.
And just bombs here. Oh, bouncing off these trees.
Yeah, something you forget, you don't have a sword when you're dashing.
Still waiting on our first sword. We're 45 minutes in. This is definitely unusual. It's a long time to be without a sword, particularly since we've already found all 3 medallions.
That's a skull. We don't have that information yet, so that's that'll be another key to the puzzle, as one would say. It's crystal.
Absolutely. So we're going to go over here and check King's Tomb here. See, I'm starting to get a real bad feeling here that something is going to be in that Fire Rod room in Turtle Rock, and Fire Rod's going to be locked behind swords in Aga's Tower. I'm just getting a feeling. I'm making the call right now while I'm still thinking about it.
And that proves that you are an evil-minded person.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course. If we didn't know this already, I mean, I'm usually on chat side of things.
Dunka gonna go do what Chrouya did earlier, which is doing all this catfish, waterfall, and Zora checking. Again, not the best things in the world. We'll get ourselves a bugnet, which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but bugnet isn't even on a tracker anymore.
Yeah, I know. That makes me a little bit sad.
Don't worry, standard tournament's coming soon. You'll get your bugnet tracker back again.
The dream!
It's like Chrouya, he might be heading into Swamp now.
That's an interesting play. He says, okay, I've already been up to the Thieves' Town. I know I can do it whenever I'm ready, but time to go do something else.
I like it because you can open every chest in here and you can full clear it. The boss will be a little hard because you'll be using hookshot and hammer strats to kill him, unless you find a sword or 2 or 3 in here.
Yep, that's everyone's favorite PowerPoint presentation, is an Argus fight having to go back and forth between hammer and hookshot. BigDunka is also engaging in capitalism with the fish and being sorely disappointed.
So Dunka will be right behind Chrouya here going into Swamp. So I think this is like the 3rd time we've seen the lead, quote unquote, change hands here when it comes to both these guys doing the same play.
Alright, so Chrouya is diving in. Dunka's going to be right behind him from the looks of it.
I think Dunka just checked. I don't know if I saw it or not. I think Swamp was the last pendant, but I'm not sure. It's either Swamp or Myers' last pendant.
I mean, I'd like Meyer to be the last pendant, only because I really dislike that dungeon myself.
I've noticed something a little bit with the logic is that Meyer tends to have the goods as of late, both in Keysanity and in regular modes.
Which is weird because, I mean, if it's not Keysanity, there's only, what, 2 item locations? But you're right, there does seem to be a lot of items in Meyer or the Meyer area in general.
And I just want to point out, if you guys can see it, the Luigi sprite, when it swims, has a full scuba gear.
Yep, sure does. Wonder if the same person who made the Luigi sprite made the Kirby sprite, because Kirby also has a full set of scuba gear.
I would talk to the sprite dev team, and shout out to them. I know a few people on there. They put a lot of hard work into making these sprites look as good as it can, while also being useful if you want to use their body parts or shadows in order to set up bomb jumps and stuff. Diving through Swamp Palace, it's a long and tedious process, but it pays off in the end. There's 10 unique items you can find in here. And very nice Kena Samaria strats for Chrouya to get the key here.
All right, so we're going to go over here. Chrouya is going to be the first one to the left side of Swamp to see what these two items. BigDunka did check the big chest. Just an arrow capacity upgrade. So Triple BH asks an interesting question in chat. What does the 2 of 10 or 3 of 10 and our first sword there on the left side?
Yeah, Dunka's not going to be too far behind getting that. 52 minutes in for our first sword. Not exactly the time you want it, but hey, you'll take it. But go on, talk about the 4 of 10 that you see on top of the HUD up there.
Yep, that is something specific to Keysanity. When the developers wanted to mix the compass and the maps all together throughout everything, they wanted those to be a little bit more valuable than in their current forms. So that right now you see 5 of 10 on Chrouya and 4 of 10 on BigDunka. What that is they have the compass to this particular dungeon, and it will track the number of treasure locations that you have gathered. So right now Dunka has 4 of 10 of the treasure locations, and now Chrouya has 6 of 10 of the treasure locations. And that only happens when you have the compass. Now, the map, in order to make that more friendly and valuable to our runners, the maps will actually tell you when you do a map check if the dungeon is a crystal or a pendant dungeon. Otherwise, it won't show on the map at all, which is why you don't see any of those early map checks in Keysanity like you do in open or standard mode.
Yeah, they just want to make the those 2 items that they have to shuffle in a little more useful. I mean, it turns out the map is a lot more useful than the compass is, but it's always good to have that compass just in case you forget an item or 2. Ooh, the bow! Proving that Swamp Palace was the play.
Absolutely. So you get your sword and you get the bow. It's looking, I don't know, at this point in time, I think Pod might be an interesting play for these particular. They have the big key, 2 small keys, and the bow and hammer. Pod's starting to look attractive.
I mean, only having 2 keys is a little rough, because you want to be, if you want to comfortably check everything in there, you want at least 3. But because they have the mirror also, I guess they can also get those 2 items. They can complete Eastern as well and get the big chest item, which they both skipped earlier. Actually, I don't think Chrouya went into Eastern at all yet. Or was it Dunka that didn't go in at all? One of the 2, I think, skipped Eastern altogether. Like, they got the hook shot and just left.
Yeah, I believe that was Dunka. Chrouya actually went in and did a full Eastern sweep at some point in time, which BigDunka has not done. So Chrouya was gambling that something would be valuable in those early Eastern locations and was wrong in that regard. So we'll be able to clear out Eastern a little bit faster now, but not as efficient. And Chrouya is showing us this PowerPoint presentation that is Argus.
Yes, Drew Gulak would be proud. And 20 bonus points if you get the reference.
So BigDunka is going to try to get two at the same time, which, if you're coming at it from below Argus, can be difficult. And he's already only at 2 hearts. This might be dangerous for Dunka here.
Chrouya gets his fight done. Ooh, and the Ice Rod.
That's nice, and it is the pendant. So Mire is going to be required. That means our pendants are Turtle Rock, Desert Palace, and Swamp Palace.
And I didn't think about it. Maybe the Ice Rod's not the best thing in the world, because once we find the Fire Rod, we can now full clear and kill Trinex, which is a pendant. I don't know if these guys want to do that just yet.
So where does Chrouya head now?
Looks like he's heading towards the escape area. I don't know. Did he do this yet?
I'm pretty sure he did it, I thought. Or maybe not. Maybe he avoided it entirely.
Dunga just took a hit. He's down to 1 heart. You have the bow. The bow can deal damage, I think. I don't know if silvers do, but I don't know about the wooden arrows.
Oh, no!
Well then. Well, I think Duncan does know it's a pendant, so he's not even going to bother. He'll only come back if he really needs to. We know that Ice Rod we don't think can be required just yet, but if there's something on the pedestal, let's say, that is going to be a huge loss for Duncan.
Anything on the pedestal or anything on Trinex. Now the problem is BigDunka doesn't know what's there, so it'll be interesting. I mean, that's going to be one of those logical things that I think eats away at you as you're going through this race. You know, wondering, I've already lost to Blind once. I've already lost to Argus once. What are the items that I'm missing, particularly on that Argus fight? So that can play into the mental game as much as anything, and we'll see if it affects BigDunka's play as the seed progresses.
Yeah, he's going to want at least a sword to come back and do that. He gets his half magic though, which will be a nice little help for him. Chrouya going through escape. He hadn't done this yet, so he's going to get these things that are in here. I don't think there was much in here, so.
No, not really. There wasn't a ton over here. Now, I'm really interested what's on this pedestal now. We can do a check whenever we get around to it. And man, if a key of some sort is required and is on that pedestal, that's going to be absolutely huge for Chrouya at this point, with BigDunka going back there.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a key. It could be the flute at this point, or it could be yeah, okay. I think the flute's the only item it could be. Or something that leads to the flute.
Yeah, I mean, it could be any of those things at this point in time. So flute, let's see, we logically...
GT big key, Mire big key, pod small keys, which, if it's a pod small key, logically they would need it, but I'm pretty sure these guys don't need it. Especially now they have the bow.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it'll be interesting one way or the other. Dunka now doing his Eastern dive.
Yeah, he opened up pod, but is doing Eastern first because he had full clear Eastern, so he's getting it all out of the way now. Then he'll go into pod and see what he can do with those 2 keys. Chrouya heading back, he might be taking that sword now and might go kill blind now with that sword.
I mean, it's definitely easier at this point in time. Remember, both Chrouya and BigDunka took death to blind, so even though they're probably both feeling a little bit behind from those deaths, they both did it, so it was really kind of neutral. And no, he ran right by it. He's doing hammer pegs first.
Okay, I don't mind this play. Get these out of the way.
Hammer dash strats.
The big key
big
for
key.
Turtle Rock inside the big chest in Eastern. So that's something that Chrouya will eventually get. We know that. He hasn't just gotten it just yet. But big key to Turtle Rock, which is a pendant, as we know. Oh, that's interesting. And then there's our... Oh, so now we have all 4 small keys and the ice rod. Oh, that Turtle Rock is looking quite appealing.
Yeah, I think I'd still want the fire rod before I go in there, just because of the one fire rod room. But yeah, it's starting to look a little bit more appealing than usual right now.
Yeah, McCurry's gonna go kill blind and open up the big chest first, which I don't blame him one bit. You definitely need to do this.
Yeah, he knows it's something that had to be done, so might as well dive in here. And I believe he'll be able to check the the big treasure chest as well.
Yes, he has the big key, he has the small key, he has the hammer, so yes. Dunka already checked it. I don't remember if there was anything relevant in there, though. Chrouya also starting off with Samari. He can always use a sword if he needs to, but the Samari strat is a nice little strat to use because you can get 2 hits off it real quick, nice and easy, while dodging Blind's body, which does a lot of damage. Plus, they just want to show off that they can actually do it, even though they failed it the first time, and gets it done.
Yeah, it's a pride thing. I'm fine with that.
I think Duncan would prefer to grab... Yeah, he's going to go grab a few more arrows, just in case here.
And machine gun strats.
Very nicely done. Gets his big 20, gets the crystal, and he is done with Eastern Palace. So Chrouya skipped going for that big chest in Thieves Town. He didn't go back in to get it.
I think this is another gamble. Chrouya making a lot of what I'm going to say are risky plays. There are a lot of gambles that he's making. For example, he skipped Quake, hoping that he wouldn't have to backtrack to go back and get Quake, skipping that particular big treasure chest location, even though he had the key. Lots of gambles from Chrouya's side. I think it's because he feels behind, maybe?
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I mean, when you die to blind, and you immediately think you might be behind. Now, he doesn't know that Dunka also died to blind. However, the big benefit for him is that he has completed, even though it's not, we don't think it's necessary just yet, he has completed Swamp, whereas Dunka did, in fact, die in Swamp.
All right, so Dunka is in pod. He did not find anything necessarily in that first treasure chest. So we'll see what else he finds.
Yeah, going this way is kind of the preferred way, especially in Keysanity, because you want to save as many keys as possible. If you keep making this route, you don't have... Oh, there's your Master Sword. If you keep coming this way, you don't need to open that big door in the front, and then you don't have to worry about one of the pod keys. Alright, so we're gonna go open up the I was not gonna do the big vanilla big key chest just yet. That does take a key, so.
And we see Chrouya over here setting up Ice Palace that is accessible now with a sword and bombos.
And with a hammer and hookshot, we can full clear it.
Man, I am not a fan of doing Ice Palace with just a fighter sword, but it could be the play.
I don't even know if you can even damage Cold Stare with the fighter sword. I've never done it before.
You can't, actually. It would either take spins, but he does have the hammer, which is what most people opt to do in this situation.
Okay, yeah. Well, you need the hammer to kill, because you need the hammer to get down to that room anyway. Unless you're paying boss Randomizer, that's a different story.
We won't talk about that monstrosity here.
What, you don't like fighting Moldorm in Matthew's room?
Oh, I hate you for even bringing that up.
Ooh, the small key to desert. That's useful. They have desert access. They've always had desert access. They've never been there yet, though.
Well, I think because they don't have the big key, I mean, there's just so few item locations there that it hasn't been attractive in terms of where else they can go.
Dunka also finding Lagmarang here. He's not going to open that chest yet, and he's not going to do the bomb jump. He's going to go straight over to the right. So he's skipped 2 chests in here, hoping to find other things behind these key doors.
Chrouya getting ready to do the Ice Palace bomb jump, which can be a little bit difficult, especially setting it up. A lot of people, there's a few different ways that people set up the Ice Palace bomb jump. If you have the sword, there's a way to set it up if you're just like a pixel below the bomb with your sword held out. The problem with doing it that way is it relies on you having Master Sword or better. So with the fighter sword, the pixels are skinnier, so it really throws off your setup.
Yeah, I use that sword setup you were talking about, and yeah, I haven't tried doing it with fighter swords just yet.
And I didn't think we found anything terribly interesting. We found a Master Sword, but other than that, nothing really in pod to speak of.
Yeah. There's another pod small key. That's going to be beneficial for Chrouya once he goes back over there. The way the pod logic works is interesting because the chest that has the Master Sword in it, it's only blocked by the bow. There's not blocked by any keys. But the Dark Maze and almost all the chests in the back of pod are locked behind 5 pod small keys.
And those 5 pod small keys can be literally anywhere that you have access to within the logic.
Yeah, the reason it's behind 5 is to prevent soft locks. So we're continuing to go through Ice Palace using the Bombos again, because again, no fire rod, so Bombos is the only way to get through these rooms. Another Skullwood small key. That's not the most useful thing in the world. He's going to set up a bomb jump here.
Interesting he's setting up the bomb jump when he has the big key.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to make routing a little easier here, so... Not going to cost him a little time, but not a huge loss here. So this is where, like, in this situation where we have the big... I guess we're missing a small key, so maybe it's not the best to not bother with the bomb jump and just full clear it the regular way. When I say regular way, I mean air quotes, because we have the Cane of Samaria. That's a time and a half.
Yeah, regular way is definitely kind of a loaded question whenever we talk about Ice Palace in any regard.
The regular way with the Cane of Samaria, I should say, because that's still much faster than the way the game intended you to beat this dungeon. Which I don't even know the way that the game intended you to beat this dungeon. Oh, there's the big key to Meyer in the iced tea room. Duncan now going to go do that shovel check, which he didn't do when he first found the mirror from Stumpy.
I wonder how much that bothered him at some point in time. He's like, oh, wait, I should have done that. Silly me. And he's picking up hearts and magic, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you have an extra key. Might as well get an extra heart there.
He's gonna go Cold Stern now. Oh, he full cleared the dungeon. That's right. Yeah. He has all the. That's where the having that compass is pretty important. You get to see up there, up 7 of 8. That means there's only one chest left, and that's Cold Stern.
I mean, it's not. I think compass is nicer for us as commentators than it is anything else.
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna use hammer strats here on Cold Stare. It's gonna be a little tough, but let's see if we can get his way through it. So many things to dodge in this room, and Cold Stare's hugs deal a lot of damage, even with the blue mail.
Remember, he did pick up that blue potion, and he's putting that to work right now. BigDunka is setting up your Desert Palace check, and silvers are in Agina's cave.
That's nice, refreshing fun. You don't have to worry about doing silverless Ganon strats. Makes a lot of the boss fights a lot easier, especially Vitreous.
I'm a little surprised we hadn't had an Agina check yet at hour 12. Usually someone checks it sooner. Oh, Chrouya needs to be careful here. Okay, he gets it.
And the reward is a potion with green goo.
So while a crystal, Ice Palace was a bit of a dud, all things said.
Alright, Duncan, nope. We do not have the big key yet, so we're going to do small key strats first. Go right to the right side. Fire Rod!
There's our Fire Rod. Okay.
So, Turtle Rock, eh?
Yeah, sounds like Turtle Rock.
Well, obviously I think we're going to do Skull first, and then check the pedestal to see if we even have to kill Trinex. But at this rate, we might have to kill Trinex anyway.
Chrouya looks like he is heading over to Pod right now, and Chrouya will have one more Pod key than BigDunka did at his time when he entered.
Yeah, so we can check one more chest, and if he knows the hammer yump, he can check every chest except the boss. So Dunka has that fire run now. Let's see if he goes straight towards No, is he going back to Pod? Oh, he's doing Ice Palace now.
Yeah, Ice Palace becomes a whole hecaton easier when you have the Fire Rod, just Cold Scare by itself. Oh, he just realized it might be a good idea to mirror out.
Yeah, take care of Eastern first, might as well, because first off, we know we can complete Eastern. There's 2 more things he has to get here. He has to get that big chest, which we know is pretty important, solely for if we need to go into Turtle Rock. And kill the Armos Knights, because we know that's a crystal.
So Dunka, I mean, undoubtedly is going to have an easier time going through Ice Palace than Chrouya did. Being able to, I mean, he has Master Sword, 2 he has Fire Rod, which makes Cold Stare a lot easier. Master Sword, just with farther reach, will be able to knock things away from him. So a little bit easier of a fight here.
Alright, Chrouya going through Eastern, Dunka going through Ice. We already seen both of these dungeons, so we're going to talk a little bit more about if you like what you watch from these runners, you can go ahead and give a follow on their Twitch accounts. The links are there in the chat. They're streaming links to past Randomizer a lot. They're always racing, whether it be tournaments, casual SRL races, whatever it is, you name it. Also, quick shout out to our tracker jumping at the last minute. Hexmage doing a great job as always, making sure the HUD at the bottom is always to date, and it's been doing a really good job, it looks like.
And let's not forget our other randomizer action that's going on later tonight. Looks like we have a quad race over on Speed Gaming, Pika Pals versus Ninban, and that's a 3-0 race. And that's going to be super hype because the winner of that will at least have a guaranteed spot in the big race-off to get into the tournament. Also joining yourself, New York Rambler.
If you want to watch not speed running, you could watch me tonight. No, I'm kidding. I'm okay. I am 1-2, and I'm facing off against Recitador in the other half of that race. But more eyes will definitely be on the top race because, again, 2 guys are 3-0, 2 really good runners.
I mean, no offense to you. I love you, my friend, but I'm going to be tuning in for that 3-0 match. I'm sorry.
I'll provide the comic relief on the bottom.
Swagnet strats all the way.
No. I'll just bomb every NPC.
Oh, okay, that's something to do.
Take it out. Take out my frustration on like the guy in Blind's basement. Yeah, both myself and Vitage are both also 1 and 2 clubs, so we're the cool kids.
We're the kids that know more about the game, but then when it actually comes to our own races, we're like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like, I think I forgot the digging game at my last race. Really, who forgets digging game?
I mean, you'd be surprised some of the things I've forgotten in different races where it's been required.
As a reminder, the 3-0 match tonight is at 8 o'clock Eastern, and it will be on Speed Gaming, the original. So just twitch.tv/speedgaming.
Yes, not the Quattro, which is what you're on now. I want to start a GoFundMe to start Speed Gaming the Ocho. Even though we technically have the links to the past Randomizer channels, which you should also go give a follow if you want to watch more. We'll be utilizing that a lot in the coming weeks with the for some of the other more casual 1 and 2 or 0 and 3 races will all mostly be featured on the ALTTPR channels on Twitch.
Okay, Chrouya is checking this vanilla big key location, so it's just a compass.
So that's something that Dunka does not need, and he won't need to bother coming back for it.
No, but if he finds a lot of pod keys, he may end up coming back for it.
Right. Master Sword's still not the best weapon to use in Cold Stare, but the spin slashes deal a lot more damage. Plus, he has the Fire Rod, so that's a big help as well. And half magic, yeah. Cold Stare is toast.
Toasty. Chrouya, picking up his Master Sword, is quite happy with himself.
one more chest back here that Chrouya can check that BigDunka did not. That's the Harmless Hellway. Let's see if he sets up a bomb jump here. Not yet. He might come back for it, though.
Yep, the hammer jump is a little bit easier. You have more time to set up if you come at it from the top. So it might be interesting to see if Chrouya ends up doing that. And Dunka... Oh, Dunka has both Thieves' Town and Ice Palace, so the Pyramid Fairy is actually in logic now. That Chrouya...
That is true. Chrouya will not be doing the hammer jump, maybe? Oh, he is, okay. So, that was actually pretty interesting. But, so the hammer jump, if you do from the top and stay from the top, it might be a little easier. You have a little bit more time to set up. But if you miss it, you have to go all the way back around. If you come from the bottom and you miss it, you just have to leave the room and come back. It's pretty easy. But I think he's got the bomb at the right place. I think that's the right... I think he's got it. Yeah, he's got it. First try, no problem.
Easy every time. It'll be interesting to see if he goes ahead and spends his last key to defeat Helmasaur, which he could do, but there is that one treasure chest remaining.
And that's a super gamble because of there's a possibility that if we need that one chest to progress, he might not have access to it. Like if that last pod key is in fact in, well, it could be locked away behind what that chest has, basically.
Yep, and he's going ahead, and that's kind of been Chrouya's play up to this point in time. He's been big on these heavy gambles, so he's going full in. Looks like he's going to go ahead and defeat Helmasaur now.
Yep, he's been making these gambles all race, so why not add another one to the list? If you're not going to go all in, why are you even bothering, right?
I mean, why not? Dunka checking this particular chest now here that is in Aghanim's tower.
I think Dunka might be heading for Skull Woods next, so we might finally get our pedestal check here. Not right away, but eventually.
Well, with that fire rod, it definitely opens up Skullwoods, and we know we have to clear it out anyway. He has 3 keys to Skullwoods, which you don't need but 1.
We can save a little time by not getting that pot chest, not having to kill the Gibdo in the next last room. We can open the middle door. There's a lot of things we can save by having all those keys.
The question I have is, where is this darn flute?
Yeah, the flute is the main item that's limiting our trek right now. We still also need the Gaines Tower Big Key, of course, but that could be in a lot of places. A lot more places than the flute can be in. Yeah, flute's the last item we need. And the Gaines Tower Big Key is the last key we need. So I think we just need those 2 things just to complete the seed, and that's it.
Uh-oh, Chrouya needs to be careful here.
He got it done. Ooh, there's a big key. Skull Woods. That's one more chest I can check. And that's going to be really good for Chrouya because he's probably going to do Skull Woods next.
He does not have the fire rod yet.
That is true. Where was the fire rod again?
Fire rod was in Desert Palace, I believe.
Right, yeah. And he doesn't have that Desert Small Key yet either, so... Oh, wait, yes, he does. So
yeah.
he could go get it if he wants to. It's a pretty far trek.
Well, it seems like Desert is one of the only places that he can go left. So it looks like he's at least in the right place to sit that he saved quit to.
He's going left. He's going Dark World, so maybe not. I don't know. Alright, Duncan gets rid of Mothula, gets his 4th crystal. No, 5th crystal. If I knew how to count.
Yep. Yep, he needs Pod and Misery Mire. So he might be dipping back into Pod, but I think we're finally getting our pedestal check. Ladies and gentlemen, get hyped.
It could only be Flute or Gamma Tower Big Key can be on here. That's of relevance, let's see. Or the Magic Cape. Wait, no, it said Invincible, right? Not Invisible?
Invincible, yeah, so that's
a Cane of Burn. That's not needed at all. Unless you're Sakura Tsubasa, you're not going to need that.
So Dunka looks like he's heading over to Turtle Rock. Pendant Turtle Rock is going to be the play. Now, if he doesn't find it, I mean, if it's on Trinex, he can't beat Trinex because, again, that Ice Rod.
Yeah, he can clear everything but Trinex at this point. Chrouya, once he finds the Fire Rod and he comes up here, he can clear everything, period.
I'm really hoping that Chrouya ends up and checks the desert area. I mean, he doesn't have the big key, so he's probably been avoiding it. But that's the play that we know that he has to make.
Yeah, he'll also be able to route a Venus Cave in there as well and get those silver arrows while he's in there. Which I'm sure he wished when he was fighting Helmasaur, but... There is one interesting note that the chat's bringing up that logically, the Cane of Burnham might be needed if you need to get something out of Spike Cave and the cape isn't found anywhere. But if you have enough potions, you don't need the Cane of Burnham to get through Spike Cave.
Absolutely, and it looks like Chrouya is making that play down to Desert.
Yep. Didn't go to Gina's Cave yet, so we'll probably do a Gina's Cave after grab that grab those silvers. Ooh, the mushroom first chest in Turtle Rock.
Do you want to do a fetch quest?
I knew you were going to sing that.
I mean, we all have a thing. That's my thing.
Just let it go, Potato. Let it go.
All right, so here comes this torch room, which could be interesting to see what's locked behind the fire rod here.
Even though Chrouya is going to get his fire rod now, it'll be nice to see if what we need is hiding in these chests right here. Ooh. Well,
Janus Tower!
Well, that's one of the pieces of the puzzle, but now we just need the flute, and I'm pretty sure once we find the flute, we will be in go mode.
Yep, absolutely.
And I really hope Chrouya, I hope he does not find the flute before he dives Turtle Rock. Because if he does, he's going to gamble on, Turtle Rock, Janus Tower having the big key before Turtle Rock having it, obviously.
I'm still hoping Trinex has the flute. I mean, the hope is still alive there.
Why are you hoping it gets...
Hey, I've had hell seeds all week. Their pain is my pain.
Yeah, Chrouya now going to Gina's Cave. He's going to get his silver arrows.
And we'll see where Chrouya ends up going at this point in time. Feels like Sanctuary. Okay, he's gonna go do Mothula.
That's funny. The bunny sprite for Ganondorf is Link to the Past Ganon.
Yep, I love it. Oh! Okay, BigDunka is in go mode. That was a trolley location for Flute, though, and that vanilla big key location that a lot of runners skip, but they had all the Turtle Rock keys, might as well.
Yeah, having all 4 Turtle Rock keys was a huge benefit for the Flute being in there. So Chrouya, once he needs to just go to Turtle Rock, and he will also be in go mode. He does not have to worry about anything else, and this is going to pay off for BigDunka. His death at Argus is not going to cost him.
I think he's a little bit happy about it. So, all things considered, we're at an hour 30. This is kind of a jet scene, all things said, isn't it?
All right, there is one thing we have to mention here. Look at what their sword is right now.
Master Sword, yeah?
That's a little tough when you have to fight Ganon with the Master Sword. I'm just saying.
It's a little tough, but you have silvers. I would much rather do a Master Sword with silvers than even a normal silverless fight of any kind. And yeah, Dunka is foregoing everything. Forget the Misery Mire shed. He's going straight for the eye patch himself.
Yeah, he has the Mire Big Key, so one of the benefits of Keysanity is go moding dungeons is a lot easier. You just walk in and go right to the boss.
Yep, Chrouya will still need the Ganon's Tower, Big Key, and the Flute. We know where both are, so at this point it's easy to say that BigDunka does indeed have the lead, and this is favoring him at this point in time.
Also of note, chat bringing up that, remember Chrouya did skip the Quake Medallion. It was Bombos to get into Mire, so that Quake Medallion will not be needed. Chrouya does not have to go back and get it.
Yep, it could have been significant if it was, but Chrouya also kind of, one of those gambles pays off for him.
I'm gonna check this one chest. Got a nice little another heart container with that piece of heart there. I think the only thing Dunka's really looking for, he's gonna check chests that are in the way. Basically, he's not gonna go too far away. He's just looking for a sword right now.
Yeah, I mean anything to make Master Sword Ganon a little bit easier, or the Gauntlet, because Master Sword is nice, but there's still a lot that can go wrong. So you want something in terms of safety.
Yeah, you generally you're happy when you have Tempered, and also a cape would be nice as well. Makes if you're forced to use Master Sword, having a cape with half magic is a nice little combination to have.
Chrouya also checking that, understands that no, he does not need to pull the pedestal. It's all right, ladies and gentlemen. We knew it wasn't going to be a pedestal as soon as I was assigned to the seed.
Are you still Ofer in commentary?
I'm still O for commentary.
Wow.
For pedestal seeds, and my third seed ever racing was a AGA required blind pedestal pull. So I'm like, I can run the seeds, but apparently if I'm on commentary, there will never be a pedestal seed.
Ladies and gentlemen, silver arrows are good.
A little bit.
Now you know why I don't like doing NMG, because you don't get that access in NMG.
So now BigDunka will be off to pod to kill Helmasaur, but he knows exactly what he needs to do.
And he has the exactly one key that he needs for Helmasaur.
Chrouya getting Dead Rock locked, unfortunately.
But he is in the right area. He's going towards Turtle Rock. We know that's the play. So Dunka, we could say, has a little bit of a lead here. When Chrouya gets to go mode, all he has to do is Mire, and that's it. Dunka still has to go through Pod, but it's not going to be... Neither one's going to take too long, so we'll be in Ganon's Tower not too long. Dunka with I would say about 2 or 3 minute lead at this point.
I mean, it's less than a Ganon fall at this point in time, so if it really comes down to who has the cleaner Ganon fight. If BigDunka falls at any point in time, then it could be Chrouya's for the taking. It's still close, but Dunka does clearly have the lead.
And Ganon falls are a thing when you have to use Master Sword to deal some of the damage, because you have to spin with the Master Sword. Slashes don't work. And then Duncan going this way because he only has 1 key left. He needs that key to open up the door in the basement. So he can't open up the big door in the middle.
I will say this, despite both Chrouya and BigDunka both dying to Blind and BigDunka dying to Argus, both of these runners have to be feeling pretty good about themselves right at the moment. I mean, Dunka is in go mode at 1 hour 37. Chrouya is quickly going to be there. I would feel pretty nice about myself right now if I were them.
I would not because of those deaths, because you died in that spot, and because you think you might have wasted time in Swamp House. Because remember, Swamp House only had a sword for these guys. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can say that the other one might have done differently that maybe you're behind. Like, whenever I'm playing, I always think I'm behind. So, there's that. And I usually am. But that's besides the point. Chrouya, be careful here.
Oh, yeah, be careful.
He got it. He's out of there at least. At least out of that room. No powder, though, so we can't knock this anti-fairy out for a fairy. I think Chrouya did take a fairy, though, in a bottle right before he entered here, so he has that safety at least.
All right, and Dunka is on his Helmasaur fight. This will be his 7th crystal. Then he can go up to Ganon's Tower.
And since we already have the big key, there's no searching, there's no fuss, there's no fuss. He's going to open some chests upstairs looking for a sword upgrade, but that's about it.
And Chrouya does go into the center way. I was worried for a second that he might not, but he will be there with only half a heart. Wow.
Like I said, he had the fairy ready, but now he knows he got the flute. He's in go mode just as BigDunka gets his 7th crystal. Chrouya is now Mire bound. He is going to go there to get his 7th crystal. Well, first he has to activate the flute, of course.
I mean, of course.
Dunka going to get some potions first, it looks like. Well, he's turning a mushroom real quick also. He's going to get potions and turn this mushroom. If this mushroom turns out to be a sword, that's a nice little advantage for him.
That would be absolutely nice. We'll see. Also worth noting, the potions going to come in handy, absolutely.
And it's just a piece of heart, so he doesn't need that. He just recently got a full art upgrade, so unless he finds a bundle, he's going to grab it just in case. You never know. That gives him 2 pieces, so if he finds 2 more pieces, he has another heart container to work with.
See, that tells me that BigDunka is actually pretty confident in his position right now in grabbing that. Just those extra seconds, if you're feeling behind, you don't grab that.
I don't know if it's like confidence or whatever, but it's just that he knows he's about to do a Master Sword. He might be doing a Master Sword Ganon, so he wants to have the safeties because spending that 30 seconds just to get that item could save like 2 minutes. And Chrouya's doing the same thing. He went and grabbed his potions as well. He didn't turn the mushroom in though, oddly enough.
He did not. No.
Alright, Chrouya relieved that it's not Quake, it's Bomo, so he doesn't have to go back and get that Quake medallion from Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, that would be devastating. But lucky for him, that gamble paid off.
Yeah, in the interview after the race, we'll talk about those gambles he made. He made a few of them, and a lot of them paid off. He's still behind though.
I wonder if any of these sword upgrades are actually in Misery Mire.
Could be interesting. There's also the Mire area that neither one of them checked either, but Dunka is going to check these first few chests just to look for these swords, just in case. Well, it's red, but not a sword. And another bottle's nice, though.
I mean, that's absolutely nice. I'm just a little bit confused why he checked those, but
He's looking for the sword upgrade, I think. That's it. I think.
yeah, this.
Oh, does he need a key? No. Okay, this is weird now. Now I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what BigDunka is doing at this point in time. You have Ganon's Tower key. This isn't open mode, dude.
Red mail's nice.
Okay, so he didn't find a sword. Now he's going out there. So wanting to check those first few chests.
Yeah. Gambling for a sword. I mean, I guess I could see checking. I would have only checked the torch and the 2 chests on the right, but he checked the first 4 chests in the left side as well. All right. He's also going to open all 40 chests upstairs, I'm assuming.
Well, let's think about it. If it takes you a total of a minute, but if getting a sword would save you a minute on Ganon,
it saves a lot more than a minute, I think. Going from master to tempered.
Oh well, absolutely. The red mail pickup is kind of nice. It will help with the Ganon damage.
Yes, definitely. Cut those Ganon hugs from 4 hearts to 3. It adds up, trust me. Alright, Chrouya is done with Vitreous. He is now grabbing his last pendant crystal. He is now going up to the Ganon's Tower as well.
See, and I'm trying to think back to any individual thing that Duncan did differently, and I don't know. I can't point to any one thing. I think he just had more efficient routing. He didn't necessarily make better gambles. Chrouya made, I think, a lot more risky gambles, but didn't really pay for any of them.
Yeah, Duncan's his execution's been flawless for most of the time. Again, dying to Argus was a little tough, and dying to Blind, well, Chrouya did that also. So.
So Chrouya is on his way up. Meanwhile, BigDunka is in the middle. I don't think Chrouya is going to be searching for a sword at this point in time.
Yeah, he's been playing like he's behind for most of this race, so he's probably going to continue that trend.
It's interesting to note, other than that shield that was on the Zora ledge, we didn't find any shields at all in this game.
No, we did not. No shields. We haven't seen where the cape is. We haven't seen where the magic powder is. The only safety we knew about was the Cane of Burn, and that was on the pedestal.
Oh, Dunka.
He could lose the lead real fast if he's not careful enough. He has the potions.
It's just a matter if he uses them or not. So, Troll Dorm. Hope he doesn't get hit too much. Yeah, he's playing it safe over here.
Yep, gets it done. Let's see what this last chest has. Dunka's hoping it has a sword upgrade. Oh, that's a key piece of heart.
That was about as well-timed of a heart piece as you could get.
Well, it's not a sword. That's the second best option for Dunka at that point, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Chrouya gonna grab these fairies over here. Was that a triple
Nice
for Dunka?
triple, yeah.
That's a 1. And we see... Ooh, those two at the same time, so that's another 1. But gets it done. 3-1, 1-1.
All right, so BigDunka on his way. Gonna fry up some bacon.
Chrouya just entering the gauntlet, so that's the difference there is. Then again, remember, we're doing Master Sword Ganon here, so no lead is safe.
Nope, it only takes 1 or 2 Ganon falls to really wipe out a lead at this point in time.
It'll take 12 spins phase 1, 12 spins phase 2, 4 spins phase 3, 4 spins and 4 silver arrows, or 4 silver arrows with spins phase 4.
Good positioning, able to get a couple hits in spins right away.
Yeah. Not having the cape here is going to be very painful, though. Again, we never found it, so it's not like it's he chose not to have the cape. This is just what the game gave these guys. Master Sword, Capeless Ganon. And now we are in Phase 2, and we got the best possible position for Phase 2.
Oh, gotta be careful here.
Use the potion.
Safe.
Yeah, those fire bats deal 2 hearts of damage with even red mail on.
I'm getting stressed out just watching Dunka play. He's tanking a lot of damage here.
He has 1 more potion. He has 2 more potions to go through. Remember, he found a 3rd potion in the GT basement. We're now in Phase 3, though, so the hardest part of the fight of Master Sword is now done.
It's just a matter of not falling off.
He didn't get the hit there, though. Alright, Phase 3 is done. Potion number 2 down. Did you find the arrows in the light world? Yes, we did.
Does not get the torch glitch, unfortunately.
It doesn't matter when too much with this fight because we're just spin slashes, silver arrows, 2 more to go. Oh, he misshot the arrow. Be careful here. You don't want to go close to the edge. By the way, this is a Ganon fight, by the way. Alright, 1 more silver arrow and Dunka has it. But he needs to light those torches again. Last spin, last silver arrow, and that is it.
GG BigDunka with the kill. Wait for him to cross the bridge and give his official SRL time.
BigDunka finishes first place with official SRL time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 17 seconds.
Yeah, sub 2 hour Keysanity, especially after 2 other boss deaths. That's absolutely impressive there. Shout out to BigDunka. Moving on to 3-1 and staying alive for the final tournament.
Well, Chrouya now going into again a fight here. He's going to try to get this done. Again, Master Sword, not the easiest in the world. We saw BigDunka struggle a little bit, but got it done thanks to those potions. And Chrouya sitting on Chrouya was sitting on blue mail, so those firebats deal 3 hearts damage as opposed to the normal 2 that Dunka was taking.
All right, we have BigDunka. Let's go ahead and get him into the room. And here we have BigDunka. GG, sir. How you feeling after that match?
Please don't tell me there was a sword on Argus.
It was an ice rod.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, that was something that Chrouya got it, and then you died. And we were like, well, I hope something's on Trinex, but maybe not.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That was a great death then.
Well, maybe it wasn't because maybe we would have dove Turtle Rock a little earlier and would have got those 2 very important items that you needed to beat the game earlier. But yeah, the routing was very solid throughout. The early game was very generous, I would say.
I mean, I'll say this, that was probably the worst executed seed I've had in a long time.
Yeah, well, to make you feel a little better, Chrouya also died to blind the first time because it was basically around the same time. You both had very little hearts and had to use the Cane of Samaria.
It's not a fun fight.
No. Then you both went back with the more hearts and were able to take it down.
Sword upgrades, any idea? Where's anything out there?
No, Chrouya's on Master also.
I don't feel that bad then. I mean, I took the extra time to search and, looks like he just finished.
Yeah, he's doing this.
Sorry.
Yeah, he just put the last silver arrow in. Oh, no, he has 1 more left.
Now, yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I feel horrible on the execution on that one, and then I just, yeah, that put me on edge, so.
Alright, Chrouya, he finishes second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, 46 seconds. And his comment was, where are those bombs at? And that reminds me, very early in the game, he went to Death Mountain before you did, but he didn't have any bombs for Paradox Cave.
Done that. And Paradox Cave was huge. There was, 3 keys in there or something?
There was a bunch of keys, yeah.
Yeah, it was the key cave. I mean, and so wasting that time, I mean, that's the 3.5 minutes right there. That's what it comes down to. But we'll talk about him when he comes in. Yeah, I'm having a hard time pointing to any one thing that you did differently. It felt like a relatively linear seed. That mini Muldorm cave, though, it's like all your Dark World access in one convenient location.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that was a nice one. I usually don't go in there right away, even when you get early Dark World access with this, because there's just so many things that are open, especially in that situation where it was, 4 hearts and just nothing. So, I mean, that was a... yeah, I'm trying to remember even back to the early game, and nothing's coming to mind.
Well, I guess we could call Mini Muldorm Cave the Dark World Access Cave in this seed.
Yeah, the good one.
Both gloves and the Moon Pearl? Okay, give us the Dark World Access right away.
Yeah, and speaking of which, so if he went to Death Mountain first, he saw the treasures up there, because I was just begging for the mirror. I almost didn't even go into Thieves Town first, based off the stuff I have. I was going to try to hunt down that mirror to get both hammer and because I already had the key, and I really didn't want to go into Thieves Town without the hammer, knowing where the hammer was at, without and then having to dive back in, which I ended up doing anyway. But
meanwhile, here we have Chrouya. GG, sir. Man, that was a tough, tight race.
Hello. I died in Thieves Town. Come on.
Hey, so did Dunka, so, you guys are even after that.
A good game, dude.
Man, I just couldn't find bombs. I used up all of my 10 bombs. I had to respawn once to just get a bomb from a random bomb drop, and then went up Death Mountain. I knew I should have just grabbed 10 more bombs there, but man, just no bombs.
Yeah, and BigDunka actually did not kill Argus. He died to Argus. So when we saw the Ice Rod, I think at that point everyone was rooting for something to be on Trinix at that point in time. Wasn't the case, unfortunately.
Was there even anything beyond? I don't think there would be, because if you didn't find a sword either, there was nothing beyond Flute Chest, right?
I just got the flute and got out.
Okay, you did too. Okay, I didn't even know when they said he got the ice, because I died on the Argus. I was like, I wonder if he kept going and if there was something beyond. But yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, flute was my go mode item.
Yeah, same here.
You both went into Turtle Rock needing just 2 things: the flute and the Ganon Tower Big Key, and sure enough, you find both of them right away.
It's really nice to find that Ganon Tower key first, by the way.
Oh yes, because if you find a flute first, you're just like, really, and you would have had to double dip it. Hey, good thing you grabbed the fire rod, because Chrouya had Dunka had the fire rod earlier. Good thing Chrouya grabbed the fire rod before going into Turtle Rock. That would have been painful.
I was planning to go desert earlier, but I decided not to because I still had some other dungeons to finish up. I routed this one kind of poorly.
Well, and let's
I
talk
wonder
about...
where you got the 3-minute save is from.
It was your second Death Mountain climb there when you had to go back and get bombs.
And there was a little...
That's not really 3 minutes though, but I definitely lost some time over the first few minutes.
Dunka had a good execution edge throughout other points in the race where he was like... just small things that added up over time. That usually happens a lot of times in races.
Yeah, I wasn't really playing optimal this time around, so.
I was going to ask you, Chrouya, about a lot of your gambles. Like you saw a Quake, and you already had the other 2 medallions, and thought, if I need it, I'll go back and get it. And then, you went ahead and completed Pod, even though that you still had 1 treasure chest left to go. So I felt like you had a lot of heavy gambles there throughout that race.
I felt like I don't know. I don't really feel like leaving 1 chest in pod is much of a gamble, especially if it's the one like all the way in the back. But yeah, the Quake leaving the Quake medallion was kind of an oops. I meant to grab it after diving into Turtle Rock, and then I mirrored, exited, and then save and quit. I was like, oh wait, I shouldn't have save and quit there, but oh well.
Yeah, you were bailed out. It wasn't
lucked out.
It wasn't.
But
yeah, both of you sound like you're relieved that it's over, because like dying
No,
in the weirdest spots. Not exactly like the cleanest things you could do, but it happens sometimes.
This one was very stressful for me. The two deaths, the unintentional deaths, and then knowing having to do, Master Sword. I had to stop because I knew my heart was racing already at that point. I had to stop at the Mushroom House and get some goo because I knew I was going to take damage on Ganon.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I just generally go for it if I go Master Sword Ganon, just for that extra safety, and you just can take a few hits and do some, maybe have a one earlier cycle or something. It's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. Definitely in that case too. Yeah.
All right. So,
any other final comments here from either BigDunka or Chrouya?
Well, I guess I'm pretty much out at this point. I don't think there's a tiebreaker for any 4 or 3 twos if that's happening. So, oh well, what can you do? It was either Dunka or me, so I got out executed.
Yeah, that was a good game. I want to go back and watch the VOD on that one because I don't know how you feel about it. I'm totally stressed on this one. This one just
I started off playing so bad. That's how I felt in the beginning. I felt like I had like some poor routing choices here and there. I went into pod with only 3 keys, which I should have maybe. Oh, I don't think I found another pod key.
I only had 2. I had to double dip it.
Yeah, just awkward routing, this one. I finished like the first cycle of Dark World Exploration without the boots, because I figured I wouldn't, do that route again. I was just... When I found the mirror, I was like, I guess I just checked a little... I'm just surprised I have a lower collection rate than you do. Man.
Well, I did check 7 items in Ganon's Tower looking for a sword. I checked the quick 7 on the bottom left, bottom right. Takes less than a minute, or just right around a minute for a sword, and it's worth it in Master Sword. I didn't want to have to do Master Sword again if I could help it.
Oh, so there was a sword, or...?
No, there wasn't. I checked the first 7 and got out. I wanted a sword. I just didn't want to wait those and then the 4 up top, so... I have no idea where that second, the tempered in butter was. So it's probably buried in Turtle Rock, or if you go moded Mire too. I almost checked the Mire shed too, but I just decided not to do it.
Yeah, I checked. Yeah, I almost wanted to check it because I was checking if Quake was required or not. Yeah, I checked like 2 chests in Mire.
Yeah, Dunka found red mail down in the GC basement. That was part of that and the blue potion.
That did help.
I think you found 1 piece of heart, which allowed your second one in the last chest to give you a full refill.
Also
which
true.
Was really
Yep.
key. Anyway, GG again to BigDunka, and GG also to Chrouya. Great run for both you guys. Sub 2 and Keysanity, always good. Shout out again to our...
That's true.
Shout out to our runners. You can go follow them on their Twitch accounts. They're racing all the time. Shout out to our tracker, Hexmage. He did a fantastic job keeping us updated. And shout out to my commentator partner, Vatasia. Great job, as always.
Always a pleasure to work with you as well. And give Mr. NY Rambler a follow here on Twitch. He's very entertaining. He's very funny.
I try, yeah. If you want to see really entertaining, really funny play, watch it tonight, because I'll be racing against Recitador in the other tournament racing tonight on Speed Gaming 1. But the more important match at that same time will be Pika Pals versus Ninban in the 3-0 bracket. Your commentators for that tonight will be Gloin and Rywek.
Oh boy, you don't want to miss Pika Pals.
Yeah, one really good runner. Ninban also had a really good run in the secondary and has a 3-0 start in this Keysanity, so definitely a match you don't want to miss. So on behalf of Speed Gaming and on behalf of Vatasia, I am NY Rambler, and thanks again for staying tuned. We'll be back in 4 hours on Speed Gaming 1 with more Link to the Past Randomizer Keysanity Tournament.
All right. Thank you, everyone. See you later.